Remember me?
How you doing tonight?
Doing well, officer.
Can I see your driver's license, registration, and insurance, please?
Of course. My license is right here, my wallet. It's all right, son. You remember the night in July?
Hands up! Hey! Wait! Put the phone down! Put that phone down!
Sir, it's a phone!
It's a cell phone! It's just a cell phone!
You knew he was unarmed.
Get to the car and put your hands in the air! Officer, please, he's just a kid!
You pointed your gun at him.
Okay, get out of the car, son. Easy.
You pulled the trigger.
Put the phone away! Put the phone away!
The grand jury determined that no probable cause exists to file any charges against Officer Randall.
This is my son. This is my little boy. You took that from me. The world took that from me. Today we make that right. Hear me when I say this, because I'm only going to say it once. Don't stop filming.
You should just give up now.
Why are we the only people in this country that are expected to do things without violence?
I didn't mean to kill your son!
What you did.
I knew what I was trying to do!
I just want justice. That's all I want. This is your jury, the deciders of your fate. Today, you will be tried for the murder of my son. You scared? Are you afraid?
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
Tell out of you. Sorry, man.
She want that old thing back.
Turn me up the headphones. Turn me up. Yeah. I said.
Yo, what's going on? Revolutionaries, what's up? Peace. Man, Mr. X, giving you what you want to give you what you need. What it is.
Yeah, it's Peace King when you see me in the street. Proper greeting to not acknowledge a light being. It's not the season.
Right.
No ego. Clearly the leader of the people.
Young
Vision
guy,
like Calico. This for my amigos. Leaning on that window of that Rigo. Praying that one day he gonna be free though. They ran up in the.
You know, we always breaking the laws and whatnot. So our first couple of channels are down, but that's all right. We got backup channels galore. Yeah, worst can worst. You gotta get your hand on my pocket or air shows there. The cracker will not stop us. He will not mute us. We are the voice of black people globally. Get your information here as we give you the right perspectives and context only in X Sports Revolutionaries, and this show will be a movie review. And every now and then, sports shows will veer off the beaten path, get away from sports in and of itself to deal with societal issues. Now, in this case, this show merges sports with societal issues. A lot of times I'll go back in the past and revisit certain things and look at it from a nationalistic perspective, a black sovereign perspective, a black empowerment perspective. Now, in these next few weeks, I've watched American Skin, One Night in Miami, and the next movie is The Judas and the Black Messiah. I will be giving reviews on all three movies. When I give reviews, I watch the movie one time. While stuff is still fresh in my mind, and then I get it. Now, this is a sports show. I got to deal with some sports here. James Harden, if you guys are living under a rock, and conscious people usually do, we live under our conscious cloak and our conscious closet and disassociate ourselves from the sports realm. I have been completely ignorant of what's been going on in the sports world for the last 5 years. The NFL and the NBA is riddled with players I've never heard of in my life because I disassociated myself from it. But this being a sports show, I've divulged a little bit into it so that I can give some type of pertinent discussion about athletic matters as it pertains to the black perspective. And so James Harden, one of the more known and popular and better basketball players in the last 10 years, was traded from Houston. From what I understand, because of the owner's propensity to defend and monetarily connect with the Trump administration. You know, crackers just don't say, hey, we love Trump. They put their pennies and nickels and dimes together and financially support their institutions, where we do not. We say black first. We say all black rights for black people. And we call people coons, and we register hundreds of thousands of views amongst ourselves on different platforms, but monetarily connect and involve ourselves with the right people, we don't do. We got to check and check and check again, check back again. We got to do a lot of checking. Donald Trump history speaks for itself. It's a lot of shit behind that last name. Even time travel, from what I'm hearing. I mean, when the devil wants to be the devil and absolutely wants to guarantee his victory, hell, they may have a time machine, man. The way they sniff us out every time, undefeated. I mean, we've won battles. But I feel like we haven't. Because we lose our stars. Our stars become martyrs. Malcolm X, Fred Hampton, Sam Cooke. As I'll deal with that movie another time. I won't deal with it today. But our heroes become martyrs. And there's no one to replace them. I mean, Trump's replacement was in his own bloodline. All of the Trumps had something to do with white supremacy. His grandfather was a goddamn scientist who was connected to Nikola Tesla. It's like, god damn, this is what we're competing against. Our revolutionaries died, the movement dies, either the state plugs somebody in or someone takes over for a couple months. They're not Malcolm X, they're not Dr. King, they're not Medgar Evers, so on and so forth. We know the history of some of the civil rights leaders and the advent of the civil rights movement. But we talk about the grassroots revolutionary movement, which I represent. When someone dies, they're gone forever. The movement dies forever, and no one replaces them. People are scared. Now, no one stops dealing crack when a dope boy gets gunned down. We had a shooting around my town a few days ago. Me and my wife had to go down another street because it was blocked off because bodies was on the ground. But those men who were killed, if they were in the game, they will be replaced. Fast money, man. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to this movement, people die. People die every day, B. Ain't that what the brother said? And those individuals will be replaced. The leader of the Costa Nostra will be replaced. The cartels, the Gambino crime family. What's his name? Frank Gambino, I think. The original, he's been dead for 80 years. But the crime family is still under his name, still moving. So when it comes to us, and again, brothers and sisters, give you one. I may have to take a couple of commercial breaks and whatnot, so I'm gonna put some music on or whatever, so that if I do have to take a little quick commercial break, because I have my children with me and Daddy's doing triple duty as I do. I don't ever do one thing at a time, man. I can never just sit down and just like do a show. You know what I'm saying? I gotta squeeze them in when I can. An activist job, what we leave out is father duty. Very important for the fathers and the men to be in the community, as we all know. We can't have us running wild and doing other things, even though we are needed to do other things. We need to be other places. The men in the community need to be everywhere at once. Unfortunately, we cannot do that. And so we have to do a multitude of things at the same time. It's okay. It's part of life as being a black man in America. We wonder why a lot of brothers opt out. They opt out. They try to be white men, right? They try to be white women. They cope themselves up. They OD. They become lifelong criminals. Coon. Like the dude, what's that? What's that? I forget. The district attorney or attorney general out there in Minnesota or whatever. The dude with the white woman, and he's got a smiling face picture with Trump. When you see a nigga with a smiling face picture with Trump, man, it's like, yeah, we ain't getting nothing from this nigga. And so, when we push for black faces for those from the bourgeois element, we push the voting process on us, vote, 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 just vote. That's the only little information I can give you. I can't give you no political plan behind the vote. I just need you to vote. And it can be used as a weapon, as a tool, if you organize it. Organize. They purposely lead out organizing because they're enemies of the state, the black state. So when you want to push for a black face in the office, they give you niggas like that smiling. And he's the nigga that was right next to Trump, smiling with his little gap, the only black person there. And Trump shook 3 or 4 people's hands and he had his held out. He held his hand out and Trump went right past him like he wasn't there. He just shook his own hand and smiled even bigger. Everybody across the globe saw that video. But of course, niggas like that make excuses. Mr. Trump was so busy. He was busy. I understand. I've seen the video. I mean, I didn't have to see the video because I was right there. But what I was told was that Mr. Trump was pretty busy, and COVID protocol denotated that he could only shake 3 hands. And as you've seen, I would have been the 4th hand. And so for all those who say Trump don't follow protocol, you're a liar, because I was the 4th person, and if he had shook my hand, he would have broke protocol. That shows the aptitude of the president and the understanding of safety procedures when it comes to the American public. Because I myself am a very busy person. I run into a lot of individuals. I think it's important that we set the example of not breaking the protocols of COVID, because everybody is watching us. So I'm not upset with Mr. Trump from going past me and not shaking my hand. I'm not moved by that at all, because I understand the premise of what he's done it, and I still support our president 100%. Those type of niggas you get in office. Damn shame. Which leads us to the movie American Skin. Now, I'm gonna break down the movie from rooter to the tutor. If you haven't seen the movie, please don't watch this. I'm going straight up off the memory, off the dome. Okay, gotta move some garbage around. Got to throw some stuff around. Open the closet, put it in the incinerator. Lose some memories I probably don't want anyway, so that I can give this breakdown. Okay, American Skin. Spike Lee, Nate Parker. Right? You know the history of Spike Lee, some of the great productions he has put on for the American public. Spike Lee is very much a house nigga now. And money changes people. He's not the Spike Lee he was when he first started out. Um, we have levels to this. We know levels of consciousness, right? We went to HBCU. We know HBCUs are for, and in certain eras, they are more revolutionary than others, right? They stomp the revolutionary spirit out, put coons in. Now, when you're doing this thing and you personalize it and you characterize it, you're going to find little blotches. None of us are perfect, okay? I spent a bunch of years with the devil, okay? Cohabitating with the devil. I'm a child by the devil. People can change, people can grow, people can learn. There's a lot of gunners out there who are ready for the revolution. They sell crack, they smoke weed. Some of them might be on the down low moist, but when the shit pop off, they want to know when the shit pop off because they got some stuff they want to get off their chest, and they want to take it out on some crackers. Even though they might have bodied some black people. These are the different personalities and character traits and individuals that we have in our community. It takes wise people to galvanize those individuals because we believe our army is in the streets. Our army is in the streets and our enemies in the streets. Because the streets all over the United States, where the black community is concerned, is teeming with informants. Teeming with informants. They're allowed to do business as usual, give up information, arrests are made, and nobody knows who's who. Once you figured out so much work and dirt has been done, they're pretty much deemed untouchable until they're not. Until when someone says, man, I don't need to know all that backstory, I'm about to take his ass out. And then you got bodies in the street. And a mother crying and a community saying we have to stop the violence with no resources at all whatsoever. And the police being implicit in the consistent and constant death of black men across America, in the ghettos of America. So what's your alternative? Alternative is take your family and move out where white people are. And this is where we come to American City. Let's set the template. There's Mike Brown, who was gunned down in the projects, St. Louis, Missouri. The reality was they made it seem like it was a war zone. From what I understand from people there, it still very much is. Give me a second. I'm about to take a quick commercial break. But from what I understand, it is not what they made it this scene.
While he's peeking through the peephole, never thought it would be
right back.
evil. Creeping with that heat.
Don't move.
They say I walk around like I got an S on my chest. Now that's a gold plated no baguettes on my chest. Like a movie, words got special effects. A old school G used to bump Rex and effects. And the Fugees, youngins know that I'm next. I pump knowledge to the streets so they showing respect. Cause I did it without the fraudulent stories about me blowing a tech. I let the Most High order my steps. Feel me? Gotta know what time it is, man. It's the age of Aquarius. Each one teach one. That's what it is. I share. Peace to the gods. I share. Peace to the earths. I share. Peace king. Peace to the kings. I share. Peace queen. Peace to the queens, I share. The quarterback need protection from the lineman for the yards. Hey, more makers in alignment with the stars. Too many MCs lying in your bars. And you wonder why they ain't buying your records. Like, oh, he violent cause he won't keep silent about police violence. Keeping both he's firing for the Pope weak and dying. No need for sirens. Third eyes open and vibrant. Jamal
all right.
Hard to watch a young king get killed and he died over cigarettes. Shit. Said he's talking about you real, you ain't let your gap pay.
And this is the unfortunate issue with our people. But thanks for holding down. Your brother is back. Export Sports for Revolutionaries. We're doing a break down the movie American Skin. I'm trying to set the plate and the stage here for this discussion. Now, as I was saying, Mike Brown having been murdered in St. Louis. As you hear about these murders in certain documentaries, if you're willing to watch them, that the setup is the same everywhere. That we are surrounded by an occupying army called the police, which premises has not changed since its installation and creation of obtaining runaway slaves and bringing them back to where they belong. There's just so many things wrong with that statement in and of itself. And so it continues to be the same. When they pull you over, they ask you where you're going and where do you live. Basically telling you you need to go back to where you came from, because this community here is exclusively white, and we protect our white citizens from you niggas. And in Mike Brown's case, that wasn't the case. It was just a cracker cop looking for blood and decided he was going to get some. And then there's other situations where you are in the wrong place at the wrong time, which is anywhere. But usually when they say that, you're in an affluent white neighborhood because you leave the black neighborhood because you think you're safer in the white neighborhood. So you leave the black neighborhood, which is teeming with gun violence, and educational system is just not, public schools is just not the proper education to get for a black child. So you feel that you have to do, as a parent, do whatever you can to take your child to a private school where the education is better, and that you're more apt to get gainful employment being amongst the resources there. What we're really looking to be is the special nigga. And hopefully when we move out there, there's very few blacks, so that we won't have to really encounter racism because we know it's there, but at least the boy won't die. The boy just keeps his head down. It's the same as it ever was. Same story it was in the 20s and 30s. And yeah, it's a little different. I've been black in a majority white school, and I've seen it myself. My son was as well. That you're the special Negro, you're the athlete, so you get preferential treatment because you're their cash cow, right? So you get treated a little different, and this isn't explained to you. So the child moves around like he's not in a racist society. He has white friends, white girlfriends. He trusts them, he believes in them, and we're setting him up for the kill. But the only niggas around are janitors, and no one respects the janitor. No one talks to the janitor. In this instance, Mr. Parker's character is a janitor. And because he's a janitor at this affluent high school, his son is able to go there. So we have to set up the premises, brothers and sisters. Many of you live out in white neighborhoods because you hate niggas and you want to get as far away from them as possible, and you feel you're safe out there. What's the chances of you having some sort of racial attack and or losing your life? So cool, I can go out there, man. That ain't nothing, man. That ain't nothing. It's cool, right? So yeah, it's cool going out there. Going out there. Enjoy yourself. Get you a white girl. Get you a few white girls. They're freaky. I'm telling you from experience. They down for whatever. Because that's what you want. Exotic sex. There's plenty of that anywhere you can go. But the thing that they can do that you can't do is when they roll out that bed, they still racist as hell. They're still committed to their race. They probably got intel on you. They'll set you up. Set you up for the huge fall. Anyway, the character is a former Marine. Nate Parker is a former Marine with a girlfriend. It's estranged, not really known if the two are married or have been married. But again, you have the situation where black male and female are not getting along and they're separated from one another. So you have a single father and you have a single mother. It's not really clear what happened in the relationship because the basis of the movie was about the young boy getting murdered. He was murdered in the beginning of the movie. It's not a very linear a linear movie. It was great how it was filmed because it was filmed documentary style. And Lee and his producers and writers are in tune with society in the way they are. This movie is done differently than would have been done maybe say 20 years ago. Or how it was done a few years ago with the black girl who was called Star or something like that. The same kind of movie. Regina King was in the movie. This is she's doing her producing, directing debuts and stuff like that. This is not one of her movies, but the Malcolm X movie is. But she was in the movie and she was kind of like a coon, and there was a brother that was Black Power, and they would have those arguments, and he was trying to give her that political game, but went one in there and out the other because she was in love with this white boy. See, you look for the bullshit in the movie because it's very difficult for militants to sit down and watch a movie that's not true to form. It's not what we want. We knew Parker could only go so far in The Birth of a Nation. Shout out to the brother, even though he married to the white woman. Birth of a Nation is a movie we absolutely need to have because, one, white folks hated it. They hated the movie. They tried to sabotage the movie. They tried to attack the brother. So when they try to attack somebody, that automatically endears him to us. Now, it could be a game, but I doubt it because I know the story of Nat Turner. They know the story of Nat Turner. And so even if the movie doesn't depict the actual story of Nat Turner, people will look it up and start researching and find that Nat Turner was a prophet. Nat Turner was a Messiah. Nat Turner was a Moses, a true Moses to free our people. And so whenever black people start to divulge it in him as opposed to Dr. King, Keith, I'm going to let you do a show about Dr. King. Yes, eat your food on the table. We get a lot of that. My daughters will come in and out. The prophet Nat Turner brings us how the Bible should be read, as he realized again that for every passive passage, there was a passage about fighting back and getting vengeance. Eye for an eye, tooth for tooth. So, as I'm cooking, my daughter starts to lose her mind. So again, I'm gonna have to real quick go on a commercial break. With my child is losing her mind. But don't let me forget where I was at, brother. Don't let me forget where I was at. I'll be like a minute, and we'll get back to playing. Get back to the game. We'll get back to the game. Be right back, brothers and sisters. This is Export Sports Revolutionaries taking a quick commercial break. I'll be right back. Hopefully, there'll be no more interruptions.
Peace to the gods, I share. Peace to the earths, I share. Peace King, peace King, peace King. Peace to the kings, I share. Peace Queen, peace Queen, peace Queen. Peace to the queens, I share. Yeah, it's Peace King when you see me in the street. Proper greeting to not acknowledge a light being. It's not the season, no ego. Clearly the leader of the people. Vision like Kaliko. This for my amigos. Leaning on that window of that Rego. I'm praying that one day he gonna be free though. They ran up in the crib while he's peeking through the peephole. Never thought it would be divine evil. Creeping with that heat close. They say I walk around like I got an S on my chest. Now that's a gold-plated no baguettes on my chest. Like a movie, words got special effects. An old school G used to bump Rex and effects. And the Fugees, youngins, know that I'm next. I pump knowledge to the streets so they showing respect. Cause I did it without the fraudulent stories about me blowing a tech. I let the Most High order my steps. Feel me? You gotta know what time it is, man. It's the age of Aquarius. Each one teach one. That's what it is. I share. Peace to the gods, I share. Peace to the earths, I share. Peace King, peace King. Peace to the kings, I share. Peace Queen, peace Queen. Peace to the queens, the quarterback need protection from the lineman for the yards. 80 more makers in the lineman with the stars.
All right,
Too
we
many
back.
MCs lying in your bars.
Woo.
And you wonder why they ain't buying your cars. Like, oh, keep violent, cause he won't keep silent about police violence, keeping both.
So, again, people were going into the movie theaters, seeing that they were saying, hey, there was no seats available, no tickets or whatever. And then brothers was going there and going live, showing that there was 2 or 3 people in the theater and there was multiple seats. You know, they when you buy a ticket for a particular movie, if it's a black movie, they'll give you a ticket for something else so that the recording numbers are low. It's what you call sabotage. Sabotage. For those who don't think white supremacy exists, it's vast and all-encompassing. It's very specific, and there's micro racisms as well that you don't see to ensure that you're not successful in any endeavors that you take on. So, Brother Parker, getting back to the movie, is a well-to-do father, and he loves his son. And it begins with a routine traffic stop, being pulled over for being black. They come up with bullshit to pull you over so that they can see where you're going. Now, the law states you ain't really got to answer any questions the police ask. You say, hey, I want my attorney. I actually got access to a lawyer group. It's very effective, actually, if you brothers and sisters want to know about it. Oh, snap. Oh, thank you, sister, whoever did that. Wow, I greatly appreciate that. Holy smokes. Wow. I'm gonna take that. Thank you, sister. All right. Again, I just want to reiterate the importance of economically empowering black people. And, this is really a thing we have to do 24/7, brothers and sisters. Again, this battle is long and vast. And there's some people you call hustlers, but I'm not one of those people. I have a family I raise. I have an organization I'm ahead of. I have a podcast as well, where everybody's on the list. I actually did a background check on myself, and like after I got to this third part of the application, like it was like sirens went off, and it said you may be followed, you may be on the list. The FBI, CIA, the Justice Department, all sorts came up because I know what the work I was doing, the places I've gone, the people's numbers I have in my phone, the people I've called. And it's kind of like a connected dot, right? And not even mean anything I've done personally, but the fact that I have interest in these people. Like your search engine, if I'm looking up search engine and I'm a contributor to Black Hot Fire, and Black Hot Fire continues to get attacked, so they're under watch, right? So I'm associated with them. I've had talks with members of the Black Panther Party. We know about the Black Panther Party and the informants that was thrust in that organization. I organized with members of the Nation of Islam. I've gone to the mosque several times. I've gone to the Savior's Day a few years ago to see Black Excellence in Chicago. It's huge hotel. I mean, this was like a fortress. So taking on the police here locally and calling them out on their bullshit. So people know me. I walk around with Malcolm X hoodies. You know what I'm saying? So I'm known. And when you take on this fight, if the enemy likes you, you're doing something wrong. It's as simple as that. If the enemy likes you, you're doing something wrong. And I'm known for attacking the beast day in and day out. I'm known for sharing information that the enemy doesn't want to get out. We're all part of that. And this is what attracted me to the Black Hot Fire Network. And, I'm glad that you all are here and listening and contributing. I greatly appreciate that. My family greatly appreciates that. And I'm going to continue on with the movie. So anyway, they get put over the routine traffic stop, right? And where are you going? What you doing? Where you going? Now, I've been pulled over about 25 times, 30 times probably. You know what I'm saying? And so I know how that process goes. Every question they ask, I answer. Nigga, they can ask my DNA type. Have I ever been with a man? What sports team I like? And I answer all the questions. As Khalid Muhammad told us, you're behind enemy lines, dog. You're behind enemy lines. Those who fight and run away live to fight another day. Now, again, I've said this has been my position. Brother, if you want to pull your phone out, if you want to let them know and be big and bad and pull it, you know what I'm saying, and pop them up with this video with brothers like, nah, I'm getting my gun, I'm shooting out, I'm busting these cops, I'm getting in my car and I'm out. Shout out to you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna tell you not to do that. If you built like that, then you built like that, brother. And I will not speak against what you're trying to do. I'm just telling you from my perspective, I'm still here talking to you. I've answered the questions. I paid some of the tickets, you know what I'm saying? But I go on about my business. You know what I mean? It's like when you caught. Shit, you got me. What you do? If it get crazy, then you got to do what you got to do. But luckily for me, it hasn't. But in this instance, in this movie, it did. It got crazy. And so the son, as I fast forward a bit, had been privy to Malcolm X, which was good. You know, Parker and Lee, you know, they dropped these little jewels here and there. But the reality is our children's rooms should be filled with revolutionary posters, especially if they're boys. All revolutionaries. And you give them some of the civil rights individuals because they have to know their story as well, the good and the bad. Because they're going to run into those individuals as they organize because we want them to organize. We want them to organize. They are alpha male soldiers out here in our community looking to do something but don't know and don't have any direction. So we have to coach them. We have to coach them and we have to let them know the best course of action. The militant is completely and utterly militant. He's very difficult to work with. So you have to have some relationship with these coons. Keep my friends close and keep my enemies closer. You have to know what they're doing at all times. Even though it pains you and makes you want to vomit, trust me, it makes me want to vomit. But I do inquire about these individuals because I need to know what they're doing. Unfortunately, though, we're too busy pointing them out and not getting at the beast. The beast always gets a pass because he's crafty. The beast is crafty. He's the ultimate liar. Mayor, the governor have power and influence. They can get resources like that. So when they come around niggas, they got some type of resource. They'll fix the street. They'll give you water, food. They'll have some type of party or a celebration day for a brother who was killed here a few years ago. Very well known, loved and appreciated and respected, changing his life. He was murdered. They named the whole day after him. And then allocated resources in his name, $1 million. Now, this is the tricky part. This was the governor, and he acted fast, politically astute. Within 3 or 4 days, I told my brother that was close to the group, I said, one, yo, tell the family, man, be intimately involved with everything and going on with that brother's name. 2, inquire about these funds that they're putting in his name. How does this work? Where does this go? Because literally they would just say, hey, we got $1 million for you, and here it is. And it's like, well I mean, huh? Is it like the lottery? Will it be in our next check? Will you give us a check? Are we paying taxes? Where does this money go to? Is it a scholarship of sorts? How does it work? No, it just sits somewhere and white folks will pick at it. And the thing is, when we allocate monies to the black community, please don't ask about it because our rich white denizens and some Negroes will be picking at it and putting them in their pockets. So it's best that you don't ask about it. So black people are not going to pick at it by themselves. They need some white crackers around it to associate with them. As a matter of fact, tell them about it so that they have some type of cover. Why? Because if any investigation goes down with the money, they're connected to other white individuals, right? So if one go down, all go down. So by proxy, he'll be protected. Oh, it's a devilish game. But anyway, the young man, learning that he cannot, as a citizen, he does not have to oblige or do what any officer says to him, or give him any type of commands. He has the right to physically defend himself against anyone's attack, including authority figures. And he's having this discussion with his cousin. And this ultimately leads him to record the police because he said, I lawfully can do this. The agitated police officer, white supremacist cracker, race soldier, gets enraged when he pulls out the camera, opens the door, yanks him out. A scuffle ensues. The child runs, and the officer guns him down. What happens? He says he fears for his life. After investigation, they found that there's no reasonable doubt to charge the officer because we know the officer's job, as he disclaimed later in the movie, his job is to kill niggas. I was trained. He didn't say that. But this is how, in your nationalistic lens, your black man lens, your black power lens, you have to read into what these devils are saying and then decipher what they're really saying. I did what I was trained to do. And with the capital insurrection, fresh in our minds, that these insurrectionists, these anarchists, these revolutionists, killed people with help of white supremacist groups and officers, letting them on in. Come on in. All the white supremacist groups that should be domestic terrorists and labeled domestic terrorists, you know, these all-in laws were based on white supremacist groups, but they only use them against us. That's why I say all laws are anti-black laws. They're only going to enforce them on us. And that even though we're getting video after video of all these devils getting picked up in train stations or plane stations, we don't know the charges. We want to see convictions. None of these people should see the light of day ever again. Because we know this is a two-tier government. We know they're all going to get out. They're all going to get bail. They're all going to make bail. White supremacists globally are going to support them. Whatever how much it costs to get them out. And for those who can't get out, and there's very few that can't, because some of these people were rich people who went up in there. They didn't sit back in a room with a microphone like I'm doing right now. They risked it all. Who knows what would happen there? Who knows some overzealous cop just start busting down? But they were confident because they had planned this thing from the rooter to the tutor, and were confident that no one was going to shoot them, that they were going to go unharmed. They was going to get in, do their thing, steal some stuff, and get out. That's exactly what they did. Now arrests are coming, but no one's been killed. No standoffs have happened. So with that being said, the officer, as we know, got off. They had to protest, and it looked like the movie was made was $52 a little bit. But they had your customary protests. We want justice. We want justice. And counter protesters was right there. I mean, right next to him, looking dead at him. Back the blue. Back the blue. Unbelievable. They're looking dead at him. Kathy's and Becky's and Marianne's, George's, Peter's, Larry's, looking right at him. Back the blue. Back the blue. I'm going to tell you from a movie standpoint, I loved it. Didn't love the end though. I didn't want to do linear. I'm going to go with what my spirit tells me and how I want to navigate this thing. Peace, General Mosquito. Peace to the family, and peace to the contributions. I thank you, and my family thanks you as you're whitelisted when you take on this voice. And once your eyes open, you can't close them. You can't even nail them shut. You can't submit them shut. They're open. And you just got to live with the consequences. My mother told me, hey, make sure. I told her I was going to do this 4 years ago. And she said, make sure you economically take care of yourself. That's what my mother does. She comes up with, let's deal with it. If you want to do this, solutions immediately. This is what my mother comes up with. Well, she passed that on to me because I just come up with stuff almost on a drip. Something happens, and the plan just starts to formulate in my mind. Shout out to Mom. And I said, I'll be waiting forever for that. We're economically deprived people. Not everybody is able to make $1,000 in a day. And if you make $1,000 in a day, are you really going to fight white supremacy? White supremacy ain't so bad for you. You making $1,000 a day. So you got to really do it from a place of love. You always got to think about we. If you're getting resources, you want to take care of your family, then you want to think of things and ways that you can help your people. We can do this. It's so easy. It's crazy. It's crazy. Even with the economic downturn of America, we still got $2 or $3 that we got in our pocket. Like we lose all the time. Buying Now-Laters and Gatorades, 40 ounces. Motherfuckers still drinking 40 ounces. And give it to a cause greater than yourself. So shout out to those who practice Black Ujamaa, the Kwanzaa concepts of Black collective economics. So having the counter protests is there and everything, the news is there, and these children are following him in the documentary. Now they're about 20s, the late teens, early 20s, very young people. The beauty of it is they're not 40 playing 20. They're actually that age. I actually never liked that in the 90s, that they would have people that was 40 playing 20. I mean, they can pass it off, but I like authenticity. And so giving young actors opportunity. And this young man who was the producer and director of the documentary he was trying to make about the man and his son having been killed, and they were talking about the young boy that was murdered. And I like the fact that they showed him bright and smiling and try to paint him in a light that opposite of what crackers do when they kill us. It's like, nigga was late to school 22 times, and he had previous arrests, and he had weed violations and all this other bullshit. They showed him playing and laughing, and videos of him with his father and things like that. They humanized them. See, the crackers dehumanize because they're demon people, as we deal with every day on Black Eye Fire Network. They're low vibrating, demonistic people, right? So they can only do things in a demonic way. That's all they know. You can't expect a demon to be something else. You can't. Santa Claus was a black man, and he gave things to people because that was the spirit of the African person. And they turned into a cracker who looked like a pedophile. You know what I'm saying? This is what they do. Right? Jesus, pedophile. And gay. But this is what they do, and this is to be expected. So we have to counteract that. It's very important. We counteract whatever they do. The roots to the music, education, writing, the language, everything, clothing, everything. We have to have an opposite. An example, Christmas to Kwanzaa. Granted, Maulana Karanga working with the state to apprehend and or eliminate the more radical and militant Bunchy Carter and the Black Panthers during that time is very real. That did happen. He absolutely was. But this culture that we have is needed so that we can duplicate the Carters, the Bunchy Carters, the George Jacksons, and his brother. Remember how old he was when he went in that courtroom to free his brother, or tried to. I think he was 16, 17. So we going to the courtroom, we taking the judge, we getting out of here. We want our brother freed. We ain't got nothing like that no more. We need a basis and foundation to recreate that. We can't no longer let society create revolutionaries. They will. We have to teach them. They have to be revolutionaries out the womb. They got to sit in with Black Hot Fire. Whenever you listen to Black Hot Fire, don't let that be a guilty pleasure. Just like your grandmother did, taking your ass to church in them hard ass pews for 4 hours. Have that boy sit down here and listen to us talk and curse and everything else. The revolution ain't flowery. It's not a Disney movie. You gotta tell him Disney is the enemy. That we would kill Disney right here if he showed up in front of our face. He's a cracker that cracks the whip. You tell them the truth. No, we don't support Walt Disney. We don't support anything this establishment gives them. I don't give a fuck what face they put on, Panther or not. So going back, drinking water. Water's good for you. So, give her the pacifier. So going back, the brother is despondent and destroyed. The sister, his lady, his previous lady, the mother, she's upset. And so here comes the black chief. And we got to break this stuff down. Try to break this stuff down as best I can as far as what I can remember. You have the black coon chief that's put in place, right? Because most times when there's a black chief, he's the chief of police in the majority black community. And so they send him out sometimes, and he'll do it himself. And we have one here. They imported a dude from Minnesota. The state will import their own blacks. Shout out to Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. He talked about this as well. Importing your own blacks. Let the black community say, hey, in these positions where the populace is majority black or has a large black percentage of residency, that we need representation in government that looks like the community is serving. So okay, fine. We'll get somebody for you. Not somebody from the community, which we're asking as well. These individuals here are vying for the job. We support them. We know them. We believe in them. Can you put them in? Can you put them in? No, we're not going to do that. Not going to do that. That's not going to happen. But we agree you're supposed to have somebody black. So we'll get somebody black. And they'll go all the way across the country to get a nigga from somewhere else. And they'll come in and the status quo won't change. We'll see more of him, but the status quo won't change. You see, in this movie, he shows up at the house of the mother. Brother made this point in the movie. They go to the mother and they work on the mother. We talked about this before. Every time a young black boy gets murdered, happened again a couple days ago. It really happens every day. And they go to the mother. They follow the template. And this movie pretty much, I mean, we know the template. They put it in the movie form. They know the template. We know how it goes. It was shot and killed, outrage, protests, people burned out in the city. You see young boys with tight pants, skinny jeans on, having fun, throwing rocks and stuff, not really understanding the ramifications of what happened. They just angry, they take into the streets. The young brothers say, y'all on some racist shit. You don't educate them so they get pockets of information and they deal with that. We again sit on the computer here and analyze their anger and critique them or don't critique them or support them or whatever, but we're doing it online. I myself was in the middle of a protest the first night and got pepper sprayed in the face. So I was there. It's important to be there, brothers and sisters. Young folks have to see you. and one of them young brothers poured milk in my eye. No, water in my eye. Then a family of people I knew that I organized with in the past, they were there and they were putting milk in my eye. You see how I develop relationships. So when you do organize, there's a trust there because we've seen each other year after year fighting the struggle until people are ready to organize instead of getting involved in reactionary politics. That's what they call reactionary politics. Something happened and they attack. No. Institutions must be built to change the minds of our people. That's the work that needs to be done. No matter what these devils are doing, we don't deviate from course, right? But in any case, I was out there. Houses were set on fire, cars were set on fire, windows were broken. And I think our city would protest. I was on a panel discussion with shout out to Sister Nafar Shadar. We were having a build, and I said, we pretty asleep. I don't think our city is going to build. And that night, they protested. It was only a couple blocks. They didn't really go too far, but then they protested again a few days later up a main block in our city. Young men were put in jail because of vandalizing properties and businesses. And understand when we do something, they put an investigation and they're gonna get the niggas and they're gonna get the niggas. Trust me. White folks are gonna get away with this shit. Don't think that they're gonna arrest everybody that was involved in this. They're gonna arrest enough so that you assume with your nigga mind that, they got them all. Justice is served. No. You get some to let others go. Remember, what's that devil's name that got all the movies? Kevin Spacey? Remember Kevin Spacey? How all that heat was coming down on everybody? Kevin Spacey ass is at home drinking Merlot right now. Somebody that was going to testify against him strangely died. My God, what happened? It's interesting that she would meet her demise at the time that she said she was going to bring conclusive evidence on Kevin Spacey about his involvement with pedophilia, rape. Well, we got no case. Mr. Spacey, you're free to go. Kevin Spacey literally played dudes in the movies that got juice like that. The motherfucker said, nigga, if I go down, everybody going down. They give cold shit happen. Bruh. White people kill white people all the time. And so in the movie, the bruh man took the cracker who shot his son. They got up, they armed up, they said, fuck it. And this is what drew me and you and everybody else to this movie. We saw the niggas with guns. There was a lot of brothers in the back that wasn't talking, just following orders. They had their weapons and they were looking for instructions. Because the brother was a military man and those brothers were military men. And they came back and they continued their relationship, which is what we need. Nigga, if you got gun motherfucking experience, been in the military like our brother Keith, you come back and you bring it to the community. That's real wokeness, man. It's like it's in you. It's either in you. Like whenever you get skills, you can't wait to bring it back to the family. Look, man, I know how to operate every gun there is, bro. Listen, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna have a little mission. We ain't gonna do no NFAC or not fucking around crew, and we ain't gonna march around and shit with no guns and have these crackers take guns or riding police cars because we're too tired to march and shit. And we're not gonna do that stupid shit. We just gonna wait. Find the nearest black community and defend it. So when these crackers come marching, we'll be right outside our community, making sure they don't cross this fucking line. We're gonna teach our people how to properly use guns. We're gonna learn the laws, and we're gonna stay ready. We're gonna train, develop relationships, because these crackers ain't finished. And they're trying to come to the hood because they want fresh nigger blood. And they feeling themselves right now. That's what you do. Oh, they down to DC. All right, let's coagulate. Where's the nearest black community at? All right, that's where we going. We standing out there. The long as they at that Capitol, we on this side protecting the black people. Sister, where you going, sister? All right, these two brothers will be escorting you in that direction. Thank you, ma'am. It's just protocol, sis. That's all. That's all we doing. Making sure you get to where you're going. You know what I mean? Here's our number. If you get cornered somewhere, call us. We'll come running. When the action is there, you deploy brothers there to protect the community nearest to where the bullshit is going on. You ain't got to engage them in all that bullshit. They see you. They may engage you if you handle your business. But the point is to protect the black denizens there. DC is Chocolate City. So brothers was going to DC. Hey man, we going to check out. Listen, they already knocked. The FBI is already knocking on black militants' doors, asking them what they doing this weekend. There's white supremacists that went up in there. You couldn't find a nigga in there if you tried. But they're knocking on our doors. You see what I'm saying? They listening to our shows to see what we gonna do. We chilling. Y'all whipping each other's ass. Just like you do with us. Tupac, Big, Malcolm X. What did you do? You left. You left. Deed gets done. Brothers, when you see Malcolm X and his demise, when you seen the movie, look at the footage. 30 cops show up after he's shot. Now look at his speeches in the 50s and 60s. There's cops every fucking where. That's what they do. Oh, we're gonna be over here. We just way over here, way over here, way over here with the door closed, soundproof room. Can't hear a thing. Oh, somebody got shot. What happened? This is crazy. Wow, we didn't hear anything. We were here in the offices. We were eating sandwiches and watching some TV. I guess we had the TV too loud. And then finally, we heard some craziness. Did somebody get shot? What happened? Oh, Malcolm. Oh man, Malcolm X got shot. That's crazy. Hey, fellas, Malcolm looks like he's gotten shot. I think we should go over there. And they strolled into the Audubon. Look up the film right now. They strolled into Audubon. The man is bleeding out on the stage. So this is what they do. So the brother takes his militia, goes to the police station, and they shoot. They have him shoot. I'm like, all right, word. Now let's get down. Let's shit. Because the coon cracker ass police chief come down to the sister and say, listen, we need this, people gonna get hurt, and this is not the way. Violence is not the way. They try to soften us up all the time. Violence is not the way. Violence is not the way. They kept saying that over and over in the movie. Violence is not the way. And the young brother, speaking like the young folks do. I know Spike and them did their research because the young folks don't give a fuck. They're like, fuck you, old ass nigga. That's how they talk to us, man. That's how they talk to us. The divide is so deep, it's disgusting between black male, middle-aged men, and black teens. It's disgusting. Excuse me. That's why I'm moving myself from organizers my last year, and I'm getting involved back with these black youths. I'm done with adults. I'm through with you motherfuckers. That's it. Because that kid was cussing that cracker nigga out. He was saying everything that was true. The sister was pretty composed. She was upset. But he was letting his ass have it. Fuck you, you old nigga. Get the fuck out of my auntie's house. Hey. You better stop, young man. You know, what you gonna do, nigga? You gonna shoot me, motherfucker? You gonna shoot me? Huh? He was on live. Then the cops jumped in, had their hands by the door. Oh, look at these. What's going on? I'm unarmed, y'all. I'm unarmed. Look, they coming gonna kill me. You Uncle Tom ass nigga, that's what he called him. You see the gap. He's working for the establishment. We vote for a police chief He goes nowhere near the youth, takes some pictures and shit, can't stand young black youths because he can't stand himself. He didn't like himself when he was a kid, and he damn sure don't like himself, and he's an ugly ass old man. No, he's not gonna go over to the youths and say, listen, who really about that life? Meet me in my house. This is my car. Meet me in my house in 2 hours. We'll get justice. They ain't gonna do that. You risk everything to do that. No, you're back to blue. Look, we looked at the facts of the encounter, and we found that the officer was not in the wrong. We dealt with it here, except the boy didn't die. There was a death 11 years ago. I wasn't involved in that. But when a young man was shot by an officer and survived, everything that happened in that movie basically happened here. And we dealt with this. And the city was fucking quiet. They didn't riot because this is a fragmented city. The child came from somewhere else. And he was a bastard. He was out there robbing people, robbing stick-up kids, flashing guns on people. He was doing the most. He was part of a gang. You know how I know? Because I talked to the gang leader, and he told me. He said, yeah, he came in working for me. I didn't give a fuck. Because we have those conversations. Hey, should we raise hell for him? He was kind of like a bastard. He was a gang member boy. He kind of got what he deserved. No! How deep is your consciousness? This is any black boy in America. It does not matter if he's a stick-up kid or he's a straight-A student, which that young man was in the movie. Doesn't matter. They're going to treat them the same way. And if you ain't going to say nothing, shit, they ain't. Because they didn't. We raised hell 3 months after it happened. Nobody in the community said a fucking thing. Scary ass niggas. Scary. But this is what you got. But this is what you got. So my wife was texting me. And so as a young man cussed them out, told them all to get the fuck out, they finally left. The brother took his little crew that was recording, documentary crew, saying, man, I'm gonna just go to the house real quick. Came out with the Uncle Tom ass police seat, stuck him in the car. They was like, what you doing? This ain't the way. Drive. Shit got real. This is when your heart race, man. You're like, all right, this is it. All right, it's a movie, man. Set yourself in reality. Okay, but this shit seems bad real. Okay, let me get ready for this. All right, I feel like I got the gun. This is justice. This is what we asked for, right? This is what we want. We just want justice. If you're not going to give us justice, which we know they're not, are we prepared to go the full length of this thing? They go to the station. They have an air out with the police. No one gets shot. Stick the head up of the police chief. He says, stand down. They tie everybody up. Now we're here. Got the cop. This is when you get into the room, the interrogation room, where Nate Parker's character, in full military regalia, looks at this cop. Says, you know who I am, motherfucker? You took my life from me. You took my son. And there were moments in the movie where Parker was like, I ain't shit. I couldn't protect my son. And the same shit that happens to every black child that gets murdered by police officers, the father's nowhere to fucking be found. He's handcuffed. His nuts are castrated. Gone. They got him in those jars. Sally got them in them little jars so she can look at him. Possibly fondling herself with them. You know they used to do that, right? Cut off our appendages so they can eat them or use them. Whatever they wanted to do. And he's sitting there crying on the couch. But now, he's taking the steps. He's about to be Micah Xavier Johnson. That's a story we need to tell, because we know how that went down. That brother died a glorious death. Brother Coleman from New York City, his brother Khalid Muhammad, gave him great praise in a very well-known speech that God told him to get on the train and start capping crackers. God told him to do it. God told him to do it. Exact revenge for your people. I'm using you as my right hand. I don't do spooky shit. Oh, they was mad. But that's a glorious movie we want to see. Because Parker had already done Nat Turner's story. And we know he left a whole lot out because Nat Turner was vicious. You couldn't put that on TV. The shit Nat Turner did, you can't put that on TV. You can only put a little bit. Only a little bit. So we figure, okay, is he gonna go 2 for 2 right now? We gotta be diplomatic here. Now we gotta be smart. We know Nat Turner's story. Holy shit, you can't put that on. You can't put that on TV. You can't put that on. Can't do that. He was killing women and children. Okay. Infants didn't matter. Everybody was dying. You can't show infant babies getting killed. You can't see that. We don't want to lose our soul trying to be them, right? So we can't show that. But we know the story. We can tell it. So part 2, here we go. This is it. I got him. I got him. This is what we're gonna do. He's gonna stand trial. And we're gonna have convicts that you motherfuckers arrested. They're gonna be the jury. And so the dialogue starts. The beautiful dialogue starts. The best part of the movie. Because it gets fucked up after this. The dialogue starts. We're all sitting there. Here's the jury. This is not like the regular court of law. Everybody has input. And they talk about the race issue. And those crackers and badges, their racism just bursts out of them. All the cracker talking points come out. The reason why we shoot you people, because it's just easy to do. You make it easy. Because what you do is bitch and hoe and you sell crack and you're a baller and you got gold on. You don't know how to act, your animals are savages. And I'm just saying that the jails are filled with black people. It's not us, black on black crime. See, the important part of these movies is you want to see the dialogue amongst one another. When the race problem comes up, you want to see who wins the dialogue. Because it should be us hands down. This is a system of white supremacy. We prove that every day. It's fucking obvious. White folks will still defend the institution of racism with their lives. Literally and discussion-wise. Especially discussion-wise. They're sitting there carries and Becky's to aggressively go after you. And they'll always bring up black on black crime. It was a moniker they made. I mean, you guys always killing each other and stuff, and then the coons will, because they learned from white mommy and daddy. And it ain't the truth unless white mommy and daddy say it. Well, we is killing each other all the time. I mean, we gotta stop killing each other, y'all. I was just talking to my wife the other day. I said, no, not my wife. Someone else. I got many wives. I'm playing, why, honey, you listening. But the way that we're living, it should be Nicaragua out of this motherfucker. I mean, it should be a third world country in terms of the death and the murder. I mean, they overplay it in old movies. Look at the 90s movies. You know, remember New Jack City and Blank Man, certain movies like that. They were showed Harlem and New York just disgusting, looking like a war zone. Chicago. There were times with the black community, you can't really call it community, you call it the ghetto, create a ghetto. Governments create ghettos, we know that. And it looked horrible. And so we were blaming on ourselves, not understanding history and not having an astute and proper political education. That we don't control any institution of any of the institutions of wealth dissemination. So those who control those things will put the monies in the rich communities and make them richer. The tax breaks from big corporations and big business. Yeah, so they can have the money. The bailouts go to them, to the banks, so the banks can what? Decide where the money goes. They can easily say, hey man, this 900 million to the black banks here. The black people here in this community all put $800,000 in each of their accounts. They can easily do that. I don't give a fuck what happens to America after that. You do a wealth redistribution. Hey man, we're gonna take a couple billion out your account. Give it to me. Easy. But they won't. So here we are. We're a white boy spitting and crying, police officers defending him, and a jury full of criminals. Now, only a few criminals speak. It's a brother with a kufi taking on 3 officers in dialogue about racism. It was pretty light because the reality is this thing is going to end and those men are going back into the cage. And those officers will remember how they acted when they were vulnerable. One brother took off and beat the hell out of a cop. Punched him in the face several times. Said, I'm gonna get my shots, I don't give a fuck. When they delineated about whether he's guilty or not guilty, brother was in there going back and forth with the Beckys. The racism was oozing out in front of everybody. The crackers is beyond shit. So the dude that's in the Luke Cage series, the that Black and Brown Coalition thing, that Puerto Rican, he going at it with another Puerto Rican. The one Puerto Rican speaking English, he's understanding what he's saying and responding in English, and he's enraged at him because apparently he was insulting him. He said, you motherfucking selling kids and you judge me and you selling drugs to everybody. Motherfucker, I'll kill you. And he's trying to get at him. And the funny thing was he was the cop chained up trying to get at the jury member who's a gang thug. And the gang member could just get up and just beat his ass. But he just sits there calmly and quietly responds back in Spanish. And I don't know what he said. So my Spanish people who seen the movie, I kind of break that down for me because I don't know what he said. Probably said to you, a disgrace to your race. I don't know. But the dialogue was beautiful because after all that was shown, that this Puerto Rican trying to be white, right? Trying to pass off as white. Because he was light enough to do so. So he had to be more vicious to his own people as well, including us. See, there's a war with them as well. That's why people keep saying black and brown. But we say black and brown when the resources come. The brown get it, but the brown don't say black and brown. The brown just say brown. La raza, la raza. We must empower the race. We must whiten the race. We must strengthen the race. I don't consider myself nigga. Now we can look in your DNA package, and we can tell you what an African is. You go back further in your family, be a black ass grandmother or grandfather. You know that, and you know we know. But if you say you ain't black, I'm not gonna try to convince you, bro. Because you got whole gangs of brown people who try to kill niggas. I kill any nigga on this block. Any nigga come over here, I'm gonna kill him. We ain't got time for that. But they're happening out amongst each other in their own little discussion. Now back to this devil that killed him. We're gonna circulate this devil. This devil here, we want to highlight this devil because this devil here, right, he's crying and spitting and upset, and we don't give a fuck. You killed one of our children. You killed one of our children. But he plays the victim card. He blames us. Hey, listen, if y'all didn't just break the law, you and your son will be together right now. We wouldn't be talking. If you wasn't speeding, see, if you just comply, they said that too. If you would just comply or die. That's what they say. There's always got to be a response. These are the ultimate victim blamers. There always has to be a response to black people when crackers are wrong. Then they make slogans out of it, t-shirts out of it. They put resources in it. Back the blue. Then they make it legislation. When a black ass president says we're gonna back the police officers, our community, there's some bad apples in the bunch, but for the majority, racism is getting better. And there are a bevy of good officers in the police department. Why did Barack Obama say that? Not only is just because he is cool and he's half cracker, which makes him whole cracker, right? And that's a debate in and of itself. But this motherfucker's getting paid by the police. The police and the military is one and the same. You're a commander in chief. These are your people. You can't speak against your people. One president spoke against the goddamn military. That don't make no sense. It's your military. It don't make no sense. This ain't like a coach. They can't do like what coaches do, and my team sucked. Okay, they just sucked. Well, people are like, well, nigga, you the coach. Ain't you the coach? So they can't suck without you sucking. How you going to disassociate yourself from your players if you the coach? So you say they suck, you suck. I mean, that's just what it is, right? Right? So they'll never say that. It's unbelievable. Unfucking believable. They'll never say that. So the chief is trying to stop things from getting hectic and heavy, telling the young man, don't go too far. Please don't go too far. This is not the way. And homie's ex-girl called. And we had this discussion. The homie ex-girl's called, right? Now, in the heat of the moment, right, we can look at this if you with it. So here's the black woman trying to even out the brother man. Calm down, King. Hey, I'll use this good heavenly future to calm you down. Come on back home. Let's work. Come on back home to me. You're the only thing I have left now. My son is gone. Our son is gone. You wouldn't say none of this shit when the child support was coming up, but okay. Okay. You want to get back together. They don't already use you as a prop to tell everybody to stop protesting, and you on the camera crying with some pastor. It reminds me of the pastor in Chicago who this young man was in a gang, and he was told that him and his family was marked for death, and he went for some help, and the pastor met one of the young brothers who basically told him, ain't no OGs to talk to, it's just us out there, and we wouldn't listen to them anyway because they're not facing the weaponry we're facing. I mean, bruh, they hitting us with stuff where a little hole goes in your chest and your whole back is blown out. They got lasers and rockets and all that. So we ain't studying nothing. We shoot them too. We shoot your niggas too. Y'all old niggas does. We'll shoot you too. When the motherfuckers say somebody gonna get you, we gonna get you. It ain't really nowhere you can go. That's what it reminded me of, the pastor that dealt with that young man. Which we all been thinking. It was great for them to get that on camera. Now, Brother Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. perspective and context. I'm big on that. And that's what he did. He talked about the drugs that these young boys are on. He talks about the weapons that are dropped in their communities once every 3 days. Delivered. Guns are delivered to these boys. But you're not going to deliver guns to people who are revolutionary. Not blacks. They do it in other countries, right? To destabilize governments. They won't do it here. The true revolutionists who finance Black Lives Matter and Antifa and every other well-known anarchist group won't finance black militants. Now, there was one that was financed, Khalid Muhammad. But it wasn't financed in a way that Gaddafi was going to finance it. Gaddafi looked at Minister Farrakhan and said, I'll give you a couple $1 billion and some weapons to start a revolution in the United States. True story. It's a true story. Minister said, no. This ain't, nah, nah. Can't do that. We're kind of real big here. So the moment I say yes, motherfuckers gonna come out the sky. Revolution is in the hearts and the minds of the people. Starts from the grassroots. Watch the movie or read the book. Who is that by the door? It's real. So the young boys have been told, turned into soldiers, but their only targets is themselves. So we're killing soldiers in our own army. And so the sister's trying to use her coochie to tame the brother, and the brother's like, fuck that. They killed my son. And everybody's saying that we have to be quiet and diminutive, and we have to do what they say and be peaceful and long suffering, and this is what needs to be done, and justice will come. And we do this repeatedly, and justice never comes. White folks get together. When they mad, somebody gonna die. Something getting blown up. You hear me? Mexicans, El Chapo on them, nigga. When they get mad, shit, niggas get broke. Okay, pieces is all. They don't give a fuck. Pablo Escobar ain't give a fuck. If you was a mafia member, you fuck with his people, you was buried. Didn't matter. What did you say to me? Oh, I want his body spread all over the world. I want a piece of his body in every continent, in every state, everywhere. I don't care how you do it. Just get it done. Shit get done. Y'all still ain't find Jimmy Hoffa? Well, you ain't. You ain't. That motherfucker's gone. Why? Because white folks got pissed. We're no niggas. We're no niggas that killed Jimmy Hoffa. We're white folks. White folks got pissed. Goodbye, Jimmy. You kidding me? So like, man, this is the only way. Click. Click. So after all the discussion and the racist comments back and forth, and that white folks who seen the racism was on cold, and there were white folks in the jury, and they voted not guilty. They want to put that on camera. Now, obviously, you got to have 12-vote jury, and it was all convicts, and then one brother attacked the cop, and they had put him back in the cell. So the young boy who's the director of the documentary, he had to fill that spot, and he was, racially unbiased. He was right down the middle. He believed in America, as he seen what America really was. He gave this great speech at the coon coming out of his shell. The thing is, brothers and sisters, we need all aspects of nation building in society to build a nation, to be sovereign, to be independent. I've said this before. People to make documentaries, people that get heart surgery, eye surgery, lay down cement, make homes, diagram communities, create satellites, huh? Technology, science. We need all that. And he was one of those kids. He was one of those kids. So he gives a speech about America and what he's seen, and he was tired of seeing young black boys getting killed in the street. He was tired of the marching. He was tired of the violence that ensued thereafter. He was tired of the riots. He was tired of the crying, and he started crying himself. He got tired of the discussion. They just didn't want to see it no more. And if it takes a sacrifice, if it takes one motherfucker to back off the police, just one motherfucker to go down. And the reality is the police weren't going to back off. They're going to respond like they always respond. Michael Xavier Johnson happened, 4 years ago? Have the police stopped killing us? No. They're going to turn up. It always gets bad before it gets better. It gets worse before it gets better. And they were saying that, man, you don't want to do this because it's going to, hey, man, it's going to go down. We're going to kill one of you motherfuckers. You all going to respond and lives are going to be lost. We're asking you not to kill us no more, man. Y'all can't commit to that. We can't even get to a humanistic decision of not taking our lives. You talk about, I was scared and you moved and I want to go home to my family. And you propagate this image in the media of this big bad black werewolf that every time he twitches and moves, he's got a gun. Every nigga in the world got a gun. He could have had a gun. He could have had a gun. Yeah, bruh. Not every nigga got a gun. He's 14. Well, he still could pick up a gun to shoot me. I know, because you dehumanize us. So there's no such thing as a black child. Every black person is full grown. These people step on our infants. The Philadelphia Police Department, yeah, they squash infants, stomp on them, and don't go to jail. This is the people you're dealing with. Back the blue. Yeah, that's what they do. Roll up on Tamir Rice, 12-year-old, because he's a grown man. Shoot him drive-by style. Well, there was no probable cause for misconduct. It's not really in our procedure to drive up to an American citizen and shoot them point blank. But I don't see anything wrong here. Do you guys see anything wrong here? We don't see anything wrong. Case dismissed. You free to go, sir. And go back to work effective immediately as our protocol. So you on leave, you get paid for leave after a few weeks of free money, you go back to work. The day of the funeral, there you are. It's enough to kill a motherfucker. And so they say guilty. Now this is it. Say, get on your knees. People start going crazy. Pulls out the gun, puts it to his head. This is the moment of truth now. Even just in a movie depiction, we want some type of justice. This is what this is about, right? The cracker kills our kid. We just want justice. The more militant aspects of society and black nationalism wants this the motherfucker to burn 27 times over. We want to incinerate this son of a bitch. That's how mad we are. That's what it's got to be to protect our family. The young boy is right. You sacrifice one to protect the whole. In theory, this seems astute. The reality is the motherfuckers are going to clap back. It's going to be war. It's already been a war. Now you know you got to fight. And now we have to unify. So either the Coons get on board or we kill them. Or the crackers is like, I'm done with negotiating with you niggas. I'm going to kill you. That's what happened in Haiti. Kill them all, Napoleon said. Well, all that beef we had, absolved. Let's fight back. Lead to this moment. Gun to his head. Moment of truth. Pulls the trigger. Clip is empty. He said, that's it. That's justice. I just wanted a guilty verdict. I wanted to see your face. White man started crying. He let everybody go. Got snipers on the roof. Everybody puts down their guns. Walks out with the officer. Officer announces himself. Says, I have Lincoln here. He's unarmed. He's giving himself up. Before he can finish the sentence, sniper blows his brains out. That's what Brother Brown is talking about until the end. My wife jumps up out of the damn couch. I knew it. And I just sit there. I sat there in disbelief. I did not see that coming. Usually I can read scenes and the angles that they choose in regards to what's about to occur. And I didn't see that. And the man's head was blown off. And I was hoping that maybe he got shot in the shoulder and they just winged him. But nope. I see this blood splatter from his head. Brain bits on a wall. They killed him. They killed him. All that. And 3 black people were shot. 2 were died. His uncle, I forgot this scene. Uncle went to help the cracker who had got beat up by the prisoner. The cracker slipped out his gun, shot him. Tried to shoot him, tried to shoot Nate, tried to shoot anybody. They got the gun from him, and the uncle was shot in the shoulder. So you got 3 shootings and a couple punches to a police officer's face. It's a loss. Loss, loss, loss. The brother that attacked that officer was the one that had the right spirit. I wish it was his son that was murdered. Because he probably killed all of them. He probably went in there and just said, I'm shooting. I'm not being diplomatic. I'm not doing this whole grandstanding, what Brother Keith, what you call it? Kabuki theater. I'm not doing all this. We just going to go in there and I ain't coming out. But they ain't coming out neither. I ain't coming out, but they ain't coming out neither. And so he died. And so the media does its spin, because that's what the media does. Said he was crazy, said he PTSD, all these different things. And 2 black men have been murdered. You know what I believe? I believe Nate Parker sacrificed himself in that movie so he can get back in Hollywood. I believe that that is his big I'm sorry for doing the Nat Turner story. And that I had a chance to take a police officer out. And since I'm speaking for the masses of black people right now in this movie, since we're all looking for this movie, I'm going to decide to forgive him. Not actually say the words, because he never said the words, nor did he ever hug him. He just didn't kill him. And that's good enough for white folks. Because again, 2 niggas was killed and no police officers were killed. They'll take those numbers 100 times out of 100. American Skin. Thank you for supporting the Black Eye Fire Network. Thank you for supporting X Sports. Thank you for your donations. I greatly appreciate that. Love you all. When you get supported, brothers and sisters, and you know this, it takes you to another level of commitment. It doubles down in commitment. No one likes you when you do this. Black people don't want to be saved. Black people want to be left alone to sleep. They really do. They really do. It is what it is, man. You know, I already know going in. When you do enough reading, when you do the research, when you do the work, you kind of see where it's going to go. It's okay. I have children, so I have to prepare them for taking my job. All right. This is No Coon Family. We're a family of revolutionaries. I thank y'all for listening, man. I'm out.